We had a great bus driver, Hildy Lochtenberg, and she backed that big boy up into some of the tightest spots that I wouldn't have tried to drive in front ways with my SUV. These are just shots from the bus while riding from one tour site to the other on the Rick Steves Eastern France tour. Because there are no specific locations or sites, just what's seen of the countryside, the audio is going to be the same for both parts 1 and 2. Many people are put off by the long bus rides and say they would rather drive themselves, but I find that if you're driving, even if on the same side of the road, you still have to pay attention to the road. And you're still a stranger and you're guessing at directions and signs. I prefer the ride because there is stuff that you wouldn't see if you were driving. You see the fields and the people working and the animals, and especially in France, you see the vineyards and the castles on the hills that you would never actually get to go to. So you also see people in their homes. Sometimes you actually can see in the windows because you're sitting high up if you're close enough. And people going to work or just getting home depending on the time it is. You see the variety of homes and the artwork on some of them. People everywhere just take pride in where they live, and in some of these villages there's a real harmony in their neighborhoods and the mountains around them. Now don't get me wrong, there are some tours, and I won't mention which ones, that have nothing between the destinations, just wide roads with nothing to see. But Eastern France is not one of them. In this Alsace region of France, the mixture of German and French customs just makes for great things to see. You drive in and out of towns, you see monuments you wouldn't be able to see if you were driving, unless of course you drive into them. You look at some of the farms that are now closed up and you think that that building may have been here even before America was America. And it was probably destroyed more than once and had to be rebuilt. And did the people who lived here survive the wars? You get to watch the mountains and the changing weather and the changing colors of the landscape. Of course, these pictures are not clear when you're shooting at 60 miles an hour through a window, and sometimes the sun and reflections get in the way. There are times that you think, damn, this looks like driving around New England, and then you see a roadside and it reminds you where you are. France is very big into windmills and renewable energy. In 2015, France became the world's 8th largest wind power nation in the world. We were there in 2017, and at that time, 75% of France's electricity was from nuclear power, and they're working to reduce that to 50% by 2025. I had done a lot of research and tracing where my father was during World War II while with Patton's Third as they raced to relieve Bastogne and at their Buchenwald concentration camp and then into Germany. I saw a lot of roadsides that I had seen in the military records and the crossings of a lot of the rivers that he had crossed in his ambulance, and came close to the battle area where he won his Silver Star. Didn't get to actually go to it, but I got close enough to feel good, like I had accomplished something. You pass walls that in medieval times used to surround a city for protection. Another thing is if you're driving, you don't get to see the weather change in strange ways and the mountains that you're heading into. You can tell that some of these homes have their own little grapevines for their own homemade wine. Well, that's about it. Onward to the tour sites.